Andrew Painter continued to thrill with a huge honor coming out of the Arizona Fall League. We've got rumors going around Major League Baseball, and we're going to take a look at the best free agents that are right fielders and who could best fit with the Phillies. All that and much more coming up today on PHLY Phillies podcast. What's the latest? What's the greatest? Rumors from the weekend. Alex Bregman. We're talking Anthony Santander. We're talking Juan Soto and much more. Happy Monday. Welcome to PHLY Phillies podcast. We've got Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, myself, Renee Washington. I'm happy to be back from vacation.
Yes, welcome home.
I've come back a little bit less upset and tense and nervous and anxious and all the things. And also, most importantly, I'm happy because there's been some rumors, guys, that have been swirling around the
Yay, rumors.
rumors that have been swirling around the Phillies. I'm actually not a
The
gossiper.
next
I'm not a
3
rumor
weeks
girl.
are going to be lots and lots of rumors. Get your rumors here. We got rumors.
Believe it or not, I'm not a rumors person, but I do like and am encouraged to hear the Phillies are getting their names out there. Plus, we've just got some rumors in general that have gone on around the league of where people are going to land. K-Rad, I'm back. Hello. Nice to see you. Chris Lemmer, everybody that's live with us on Twitter, on YouTube, listening on Roku. We're on all the different
I think
platforms.
since you've left, we're on Xfinity and Zomu.
Yeah,
and like a bunch
we're
of
everywhere. And so happy to have you guys joining us from all over in the digital airwaves.
I got to look it up, but it's like 4,078 on Xfinity or something like that.
And we appreciate
Very
every
cool.
single one of you.
4,073. Look at
Wow.
that. I did it.
Wow.
I
look at
remembered
you.
something.
You're so smart.
So, yeah.
Proud of you.
And you can just
That's what
say it
happens when you
into
don't
the
have
remote,
coffee.
too. I know. I regret my decision not to get a coffee today. Do you ever just wake up and go, nah, I don't feel like tasting that today?
Actually, I do.
Yeah.
But not with coffee. Mine's usually syrup or it's just usually syrup.
Coffee's like a state. And this morning I went, no. And now I'm regretting it. My eyeballs feel tired.
Oh, no.
I think I'm a coffee addict is what I'm realizing.
Let's take this moment. Do you need to sit on the couch?
The first step is admission.
That's important. That's important. You are openly admitting you are an addict. Check.
My eyeballs feel strained.
Do you feel like you can't function without coffee? Like every day you need at least one?
Yeah.
That's addiction.
Yeah.
For sure.
Give me that caffeine.
Maybe we should wean you off into do they have other coffee?
I did in the past.
Okay.
When I was getting headaches from not having coffee, I stopped for a while. And I reestablished.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to fight through this one though.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
I'm
that.
weak, Renee.
Oh, well, that'll be about $100,000 for this moment of therapy. I take deferred contracts as well, but you will owe me for that because I just gave you free therapy. I will say for sure, thank you for the support for you guys that are tuned in. And yeah, I know K-Red's talking about our shoes, the Birks, the red boots, but also the coffee addiction is real. And hopefully you guys don't have a coffee addiction. Yeah. But if you do, you and Jamie can figure it out together.
We can start a support group together.
Yeah, it's Coffee Anonymous, maybe?
Yeah.
Caffeine Anonymous?
Caffeine, probably.
Yeah, probably all things caffeine, because I think Tyler would be there with you. All right, so here's some exciting things, though, that happened around the Phillies this weekend. And we're going to start from the top with one of our guys that internally we've been keeping an eye on. Before we start looking elsewhere at right fielders and free agents and rumors, we have in-house our very own rising talent that's been fun to watch his projection. From the stash to the height to the pitching, he's got all the little things that we are seeing. And it's Andrew Painter. I've got no painting witty comments for today. Nothing.
Peyton Manning versus Peyton Manning. Peyton.
Oh yeah, which I actually think is a really funny commercial.
In small
But it's like it's too much. I've seen too much of it.
Doses.
But I haven't seen enough of Andrew Painter, that's for sure. Now, Andrew Painter has been having a phenomenal AFL, the Arizona Fall League run. He finished off as a 21-year-old. We talked about the hype. We talked about the pitching. He finished off with a 2.30 ERA in 6 AFL starts. Finished 2-0, struck out 18, walked 4 in 15 2/3 innings. His opponents batted just .189 against him. And for Andrew Painter, he was saying he just came in there wanting to compete, wanting to get a feel for his stuff. He felt confident and is feeling confident now going into 2025. And most importantly, was able to walk out healthy. And on top of that, he did get the AFL Pitcher of the Year award, the highest honor a pitcher can get. And our very own Andrew Painter excelled, thrived, thrilled, whatever adjectives you want to use, was healthy and looked great in the Arizona Fall League with the Desert Dogs.
Desert Dogs. Who?
Desert Dogs.
Yeah, I never really have paid much attention to the AFL in my life.
Nope.
Usually
It's the
kind
real
of
AFL.
like look at a box score here and there. I actually tuned in to watch this guy pitch in the AFL. It's the first time I ever recall doing that. Which I think speaks volumes to how exciting this kid is. I mean, holding opponents to 189. And the AFL is like your upper echelon prospects, your quad A, taxi squad type of guy. So he was facing some really good young talent out there. And he just shut them the hell down. So you didn't really need much more hype added to his train leaving the station. But this certainly adds a little extra to it. It's pretty nice to see.
It gives
maybe the real power here. Tyler, do you have that picture I put in there?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do we have our own edition of Paul Skeens? Look at our man. He's all stashed up. That looks great.
I love the stash.
We got a mustached pitcher finally.
Woo!
What we've all yearned for all these years.
We've talked so much about the stashes around the league.
No goatee,
the Spencer
no beard, no
Striders,
chin
the Paul
strap.
Skeens.
Stash.
Just clean stash. And then look at the clean-cut chin. Like, he's giving the stash, just strong stash game for sure.
Strong.
We've seen some
For
great
such a
beard
young kid,
games.
yeah.
We've seen some great hair, some locks. But that stash by Andrew Painter, it's a thing of beauty. So we'll see. Yeah, I think the stash alone gets you a little bit.
Are you pro or anti-stash as a female?
You know, I don't like
outside of baseball, just out of curiosity.
Like personally, I'm not a fan of just the stash. It takes a lot to really pull that off. I love a good beard and like the chin strap and everything. Like it's all got to come. I love it all connected.
Okay.
All of it. Give all of that.
We had to clarify the important stuff here.
That is the priority. But I do feel like if you're going to have, there's like levels to it because there's sometimes like he's got a thick stash. Some people have the thin,
it fades into
Captain
thin.
Hook looking stash.
Those are
not
creepy.
the curl part, but just the thinness.
If you go to Fishtown, you can probably find some of those.
Yeah. I love a good stash, though, a good facial hair. But he does look great, and he looks great not only because of the stash, but most importantly of how he's pitching. And I know K-Red saying he actually looks like a pitcher. He does. It's great to see that Andrew Painter has given us something internally to be optimistic about. The pitching is there. He's healthy. He showed well. And as he mentioned, the confidence is growing. And we're just seeing him. And you got to actually see him in person, which to your point about actually tuning in,
which is wild.
Paul Skeens-esque. Like a lot of people tuned in to him and rightfully so for the first team all Major League Baseball pitcher. For him to have had the excitement that he did, and we're getting that same vibe around Andrew Painter, gets you very excited. We know that fifth starter has been a question mark for the Phillies. It will continue to be a question mark for the Phillies until we get further into the spring. So we're going to have plenty of months to talk about what they're going to do, who's going to fill that void. They did make a minor move, and by minor, we mean literally minor move, of a guy that they were able to sign to a minor league deal in Nicholas Padilla as a right-handed pitcher that they were able to bring in. He's 27. He was a 13th round pick by the Rays back in 2015. He's struggled in the minors and converted to a reliever in 2019. The Phillies have signed him to a minor league deal. And in the course of his career, we've seen some ups and downs from him. He's been with the Cubs in high A in 2021. He's been high A, double A. He was with the Iowa Cubs. He's been bouncing around all over the place. And so, I mean, one of those moves that you look at that reminds me of like a Spencer Turnbull, David Dahl, Michael Mercado type of a move that the Phillies have brought him in. And no, I don't think he's going to fill that fifth starter void, but he was last November since you look at like the last year to now, he's posted a 2.92 ERA with 30.3% strikeout rate and 37 innings of work. He's now in the minors, and he's
there's a chance he could, if he pitches well in spring training, could make the 40-man roster.
Yeah,
he's from the Rays. He's originally from the Rays, and I think the Rays and Philly share a lot of similar pitching profile. He's got some stuff. He's a guy that kind of got screwed a little bit. Had some minor success in 2019, and then 2020 COVID happened, and then he came back and got hurt, and then it was like a road to recovery back. A little bit last year, but he's got stuff. Tyler, I'm wondering if you've already deep dove his MLB Savant stuff. He's 6'2", right-handed. He's 27, so it's kind of like do or die time for him if he's going to make it. Throws 4 pitches: the sweeper, cutter, sinker, and curve, all pretty similarly. 30%, 29%, 22%, and then the curve's the lowest at 19% of the time. Tyler, he's got a 43% arm angle. Tyler,
he knows you love this stuff. Tyler's like, why are you?
This pitch chart up right here. So he's just another guy you're taking a chance on, and you hope you can turn him into.
This is the nerdy stuff, but I'm not even going to pretend like I know anything about this guy.
I just know what I read about him.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching high A Cubs games.
No, I can't tell you that I
Iowa
was.
Cubs and
no, I wasn't doing
make it onto your rotation of channels.
So I did read up on him. He's got swing and miss stuff. He can throw a little bit of gas. He's not qualified in any of the MLB percentile stuff. But, it's another guy they bring in. You hope you can develop him once he's here within the system with Caleb Cotham and others. And they've done a really good job of this. So he's somebody to keep on the radar. And if he does have a good spring training, he can probably make the 40-man.
Can I address something really quickly? Because I see multiple comments in the chat of this. There is a 0.000% chance that I would just go stash ever.
Yeah,
first of all, I can't grow one. It would look I would look childish with just a stash. I would look like I'm 12. Like when you first get facial hair for the first time, you're like 13, 14 years old. That's how I would look. I cannot grow them. I could barely grow a beard.
Well, I think you'd look good with a stash in the chat. They believe in you.
I big time.
BC, our Dodgers fan, believes in you alone. I mean, you've got coast to coast support right now.
Big time disagree. I will not ever just be a stash guy.
Who would look better with a? If you guys could grow a stash, who would look better with a stash? Jamie, Tyler, or me? I'm just kidding. Jamie or Tyler?
I can't picture myself with any hair ever, so I don't know. I don't even know what that would look like.
I think you guys should get. Do they have stash? Like how girls we can get like fake hair and weaves and stuff. Do they have like a stash
extensions?
I mean, they make toupees and stuff for the top of your head. I'm sure
they probably do beards. I don't know if they do mustaches.
Amazon might have them.
Lord Bezos has everything.
Yeah, exactly. There's something for everything. So I'm sure somewhere you can find, oh gosh, actually both looking up stashes. I think you get some stash implants, and I think we should have a day where you guys come in stashed up and see what the see what the stash looks like. There's fake hair for everything. You can get eyebrows done.
I forgot you guys can see my screen today.
Yes, we can. Is that not what the YouTube is saying?
I Googled, are there beard extensions?
Yeah, now I'm curious too, K-Red. There's something for literally everything. You can actually get anything on your body, fake, implanted, tightened, loosened, hair, no hair. So I'm sure you can get like a fake stash.
All right, I got 49 mustaches arriving tomorrow night. Stick-on mustaches. So me and Tyler can try it out later this week.
I think every day, yeah.
I just bought it. Yeah, so
I'll try a stash.
It's here tomorrow. So maybe Wednesday.
Amazon, literally on Amazon?
Yeah, of course.
Amazon, I told you, Amazon has everything.
It was done in 2 seconds. I just typed in mustaches. It was like $4.99, 48 mustaches. Buy now, done at my door tomorrow.
Bam. All right, we're gonna have our stash segments every day to see which stash looks best.
Burt Macklin, FBI.
No, that's a good stash if you're an FBI guy. I feel like you need a good stash.
Yeah.
But we'll get into more because outside of the Phillies, we're getting some excitement. We're getting some names. Hold on to your seats because we've got
excitement.
This is about as exciting.
Happy to see the Phillies named on Phillies on MLB trade rumors.
This is all we've got right now, guys. We're reaching for low hanging fruit. So we'll talk some Anthony Santander, some Alex Bregman, some other names, and specifically looking at the right field today, I think is important. But first, Jamie, let's take care of some business.
And I'll tell you about our friends over at the Game Time app. My wife and I went and saw a concert last week down at the Met, right down on North Broad Street. And the best place to get the tickets was the Game Time app, because we were sitting upstairs. We weren't down on the floor, so we wanted to make sure our seat angle and seat view was good. So she just went on there, looked at our seats. We had a great sight line to the stage. Boom, easy peasy. And the beauty of Game Time and the Game Time app is they give you the all-in pricing up front, because there's nothing worse than thinking you got the all-in price and going to check out on another app, and then boom, you get hit over the head with like $42 in hidden fees. Well, Game Time doesn't do that to you. They give you the all-in pricing right away. And whether it's comedy, music, theater, sports, or more, make sure you're always checking out the Game Time app. It's awesome. I've used it for baseball, comedy, music, and even a show for my girls. So what you can do is download the Game Time app and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Game time. It's also time for you to make sure you're eating healthy, and you can do that with HelloFresh. HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients, seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep, and you can skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Now, I myself had a chance to try out HelloFresh, and I am thrilled to be able to share with you what I learned about them, because I didn't even realize all the great benefits of HelloFresh. Unlike some meal kits and some companies that send you food to your door, they send you the ingredients. So they send you every single possible ingredient, seasoning, everything you're going to need, from your peppers to your onions, small little pieces of onions that you can just dice up. They give you mayonnaise and all these seasonings that you need, in addition to whichever pasta, rice, meats that you're cooking. And then they also give you a recipe, so you can follow step by step how to make that delicious meal. And I personally enjoyed it as someone that likes to try making different meals and likes to have some fun with cooking. It was a great opportunity to be creative and also try something different that I possibly would not make before. So with HelloFresh, it is exactly as the name implies. It's fresh. It's delivered to your door. It's not already cooked for you. You do the cooking. And then they also give you, with those ingredients, you have flexibility. So there was one meal in particular that required a lot of cheese. As someone that doesn't like cheese, I know, JB, I see you looking at me. I did not put all the cheese into my meal. I scaled it back. So it also gives you the flexibility. If there's a flavor or an ingredient you like more or less, you can add less, or maybe you add more of it. So with HelloFresh, as we're getting into the holiday season, it is the holiday season, guys. It started when we had Halloween, I should say. So as we're into the holiday season, you want to make sure you have the opportunity to get rid of the stress and make sure that you have delicious meals to prepare every day. So we have a great deal for you. You can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/P/free Phillies. So it's HelloFresh.com/free Phillies. And you can use that. It's applied across 7 boxes, new subscribers only. It does vary by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/free Phillies. And definitely enjoy all the great things that HelloFresh has to offer. All right, now we've talked about the internal excitement around Andrew Painter. Let's shift gears, because around the league, we are keeping an eye on other free agents and trade prospects that could be a good fit for the Phillies. So who do you think that could be? Dun, 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 dun. Let's talk right fields. You guys already talked about left fielders. You've talked center fielders. I saw the conversation you guys had around that as well. It was great to see all the Johan Rojas talk and left field talk in general. Well, there's some other names out there that absolutely could make you excited for the future of the Phillies. And it starts with the top. When you look at some of these right field free agents, here's the list of some of the guys that are free agents right now as right fielders. You've got, of course, 26-year-old Juan Soto. We've been following his everyday sweepstakes of the latest, the rumors, where he's going to possibly going. You've got an Anthony Santander. You've got Teoscar Hernandez, who can play in the right field, a Max Kepler, Jason Hayward, Randall Grichuk. There's names out there of guys that maybe received qualifying offers, but are, possibly exploring free agency. There's some that we anticipate will stay with their teams. There are definitely some top names out there. Now let's get the first one off the board in a Juan Soto, because we've been doing our regular Juan Soto updates.
I'm down bad on that.
No.
Yeah, I'm like less than 1%.
You're a negative.
Oh, I'm like as close to 0. I'm basically an average player.
Well, here's
my WAR is 0.1.
You're just down bad, period. That's all I got from this. I came back from vacation. I don't know what happened to you, JB, but you're losing it. You missed me, maybe. Did you miss me?
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Oh, I'm here. I'm back.
No, it's just I just don't think it's gonna happen. That's all.
No, it's not gonna happen, guys.
My whole point in this is I don't want to be the wet blanket for people because I want people to hope and dream that Juan Soto could be here. But I think the Mets had their first meeting, and reports are that it went really well. And here's how the meeting went, Renee. I'll be Juan Soto. You can be Steve Cohen.
Oh,
hi, Mr. Cohen.
Hi. How much money would you like? We've got that for you.
Okay, great meeting. Thanks for having me. All right, I'm gonna talk to you soon.
Whatever you want, we've got it.
That's how the meeting went. It went great. Yeah.
You tell us how much money you want, and we're gonna pay you exactly that because that meeting did go well. The latest on the Soto sweepstakes, as we've been giving you daily updates, and not for the sake of thinking he's coming to the Phillies, because as you mentioned, I didn't think he was coming to the Phillies. It's nice to hope and dream, but I live in reality as we all do. But it is nice, and it's very important, I should say, to keep up with where Juan Soto goes, especially if he does go to a team like the Mets. So Saturday morning, John Heyman did report that the Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox also had impressive in-person presentations to Juan Soto. He then, of course, added that the Mets met with Soto on Saturday, as you just alluded to, Jamie, and that all early signs suggest the meeting went well and that Steve Cohen and other high-ranking Mets officials made the trip. So we knew they were going to put everything out there, throw everything in the kitchen sink into that meeting with Juan Soto. Now, for the Red Sox meeting with Juan Soto, it was an introductory, more informative type of a meeting. That's what some reports have indicated. It lasted for 3 hours. It was considered, quote unquote, productive. But they said money nor terms were discussed between either party. Yeah.
Sure.
Interesting. You have a meeting with Juan Soto. You did not discuss money and you did not discuss terms.
What are they talking
Apparently,
about?
you just discussed why it's great to be in Boston. Apparently, you just discussed why he would look great in a Red Sox uniform. I'm not quite sure. And then he was also, apparently, though, Soto was reportedly impressed by Boston's presentation. It was a video. Here's what the presentation involved, guys. Here's the deets. It was a video that highlighted the franchise's history of star players from the Dominican Republic, which is Soto's native country. So they tried to play the Dominican Republic card. Cute. They also detailed their plans for the future. They highlighted a promising group of prospects that could potentially team up with Juan Soto to help them be successful for years to come.
You're selling prospects, come on.
You're selling the DR and prospects to Juan Soto. That's
the
what
DR
you're
thing
going
makes
with.
sense.
I mean, they are on the East Coast, so that's a leg up too. They had that.
But prospects.
And then today he is expected. I don't know what time, guys, so don't. Maybe track his plane or something. Juan Soto is scheduled to meet with the Yankees today out in Cali. So that's also on the list. So we've been seeing consistently the Phillies not included in any of these meetings, not included in any of these conversations. So if the math is mathing, guys, it's not looking great for the Phillies. So if you were, for those of you like our very own Vince that has that Juan Soto bubble of hope, pop, that's us popping your bubble because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels like he's a Met.
So the Red Sox are, as different reports have come out.
It would look, do you ever just think of the player and think of like the stadium and the uniform? I don't know. He just doesn't seem like a Red Sox to me.
Allegedly, Boston is looking to pursue him with a level of intent that we haven't seen from Boston in a very long time. So it looks like they're throwing everything they've got to try to get Juan Soto.
So the team that just gave away Mookie Betts for a bag of baseballs is now going to spend $700 million. Oh, then why wouldn't you have spent? You could have gotten Mookie Betts for a fraction of that.
Yeah. So now you're going to be like, oops, we messed up. Let's try again with Juan Soto. And that's what the Blue Jays are doing because, oops, they messed up with Shohei Ohtani. And according to different reporters, including Ben Nicholson-Smith, who of Sportsnet covers the Blue Jays closely, he said that they are obviously still, I mean, one could say hurt from not getting Shohei Ohtani, who then won a World Series. You could say that. So after falling short on the Ohtani bid, their pursuit of Soto is trying to like regroup and bounce back from missing out on Shohei Ohtani. So they are looking to possibly pivot. So looking to maybe spend $500 to $700 million in free agency, whether that's with Soto or elsewhere. We don't know, but they're looking to be more aggressive because they missed out last year. So interesting. That is our Juan Soto update of the day for you guys because essentially he's going to be, as of now, it looks like with the Mets, the Yankees, and then a weird sleeper in the Blue Jays and Red Sox. The Dodgers have come out. I know Jeff Passan wrote this himself, that the Dodgers are not chasing after Soto, allegedly. Of course, they're already locked into a large deal with Shohei Ohtani. And, of course, they have some other names that they're looking to pursue, which we know. So
I was just trying to look up, as you were saying, that the tax rate in Canada for $600 million.
What's the tax rate, A?
A lot. I can't find exactly. Just like the province tax rates are usually over 21 or 22% based on his income. Could be more. And then the federal tax rate, I believe. So, like, if you're the Blue Jays and you think you have a shot at them, you'd have to pay like double anybody else. No, not double, but like 33% more than everyone else, just to make it even.
So Ontario's federal tax bracket seems to stop at $235,000. So I think anybody over that is a blanket number. 33%.
Just federal?
Correct, just federal.
Okay.
That's a lot of money. I mean, California's that bad.
Ontario's tax bracket is 13 on top of it.
So 13 and 33.
So you're looking at 46% taxable.
You're approaching 50% tax rate. Ooh. Yeah, the Blue Jays got no shot.
Yeah.
And then California's, that's going to be approaching 50, like almost 50% too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, California, I've just declared it. Toronto's dead. Boston's dead. California teams are dead.
So back to being between the Yankees and the Mets.
Basically.
Which is what we started with. Okay.
The Nationals I've seen sprinkled in as like a wild card that they're going to spend again. But I can't imagine he'd want to go back there.
And the other thing to your point, Jamie, is now you have teams that are going to have to pitch, we've got prospects that we can build around you. That's a very weird and weak proposal when you have a team. Even if the Dodgers were interested, but we'll take them out of it. The Yankees and the Mets aren't promising you prospects. They're promising you, Yankees, we just went to the World Series and we're going to go back again with you.
Mets, we're building $1 billion.
Come back again. We're going to try again. We failed last year. And Mets, we're building. We were a Cinderella team.
We have an MVP, Francisco Lindor.
Correct. So that is interesting.
I can't imagine John Middleton sitting down and be like, hey, check out this Aiden Miller tape.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of Justin Crawford? Wait till you see this Starlin Cava kid field shortstop.
They could be your teammates.
Yeah, you can grow with these guys. Like, that's so
For
weird.
just a 14-year deal, this could be your future. But what could be a future that we would like that is a little bit more practical as we're looking around the right fielders that are free agents alone. We're not just talking trade pieces. There are some great free agents on the market. Mr. Anthony Santander, come on down and be a future Philly, why don't you? So he had quite a strong season as a 30-year-old outfielder. He's been solid. He's been consistent for several years. And for this past season, it was kind of like a career best for him in a couple of areas. He was a first-time All-Star this year, set career highs with 44 home runs, 102 RBIs, with an 814 OPS, which was his highest across any 162-game stretch, so any season. And then also, there have been some different teams that we've seen as fits for him, whether it's the Orioles, the Cardinals, the Guardians, or the Phillies. I like it. I think that we talked about them needing an outfielder that would help offensively producing as well. And I think if you're looking to bolster, you've got a guy that's right on that 30-year mark. So he's ready now. He's not a prospect that you're waiting on and hoping, but he's not over the hill yet. He's right there kind of in the mix of, I guess you could say, the peak of his career in that sense, and not peak in it. He's got more to grow. But I think for the consistency we've seen from Anthony over the years, and the fact that I think that the Phillies are looking for that outfield piece, he could be a good fit for them. And so I am encouraged to hear his name continue to be bounced around. We've talked about him before, and looking at his numbers and coming off of a career best high in his first year ever as an All-Star, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, the power would certainly translate to Citizens Bank Park. Past 4 years, 44, 28, 33, 18. And that's what that weird left field wall too in Baltimore. So that Tyler, did you do that math last time we talked about him?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 4 more home runs?
It was like
here?
4 or 5 more home runs he would have hit in Citizens Bank Park as opposed to at Camden Yards?
Yeah, that's really intriguing. The fact he's a switch hitter is really intriguing. He's not a good defensive player by any means, but that's fine. I would love him. I think Passan or somebody speculated he might get right around $100 million. So that could be a little rich for their blood. That's my concern there.
Yes.
Is he fits because he could be a right-handed power bat behind Bryce Harper, but I fear they're going to be priced out. And that does not mean the Phillies are cheap. Because anytime you say something, that might be too rich for their blood, people are, immediately are like, what do you expect, Jordan? And it's like, well, okay, there's only so. Because if you spend, let's say, $100 million on Anthony Santander and it takes you above the threshold, which it will, you're then paying like 50% more on top of his contract already. So, there is a limit here.
Yeah, and I know there's
and he's good enough that he's expensive.
Exactly, and you do need someone that you're going to have to spend money on because that means it's a piece that's an addition, that's an upgrade. If you're getting someone for cheap, that means it's a risky move. That means it's a Whit Merrifield type of a move that it's a hope and see and hope that you can get the best out of them. I know as you talk about that wall in Baltimore, they are actually changing their outfield,
they are, I saw that.
Which is wild, but nonetheless, you don't have to worry about that at Citizens Bank Park. You can smash more home runs. And for Anthony Santander, for him as a right fielder, So hold on, I'll get back to that in a second. For Anthony Santander, the fact that he's a right fielder for some might not make sense for the Phillies to add him. Of course, you have Nick Castellanos, who is your everyday right fielder, but there's flexibility there. There's been conversation around, can he play center field or can he play left field and you slot Brandon Marchand in center field? There seems like there could be some flexibility in terms of the outfield makeup, where it's not the expectation that he would come in and replace Nick Castellanos. It actually would just make you have to tinker and change up the look of what the outfield is and maybe have him switch to left field. So if he is able and open, and I know $100 million is the number that I saw floating around for what he's potentially going to go for, if that is possible for the Phillies, I think you just have to get a strong outfielder. We've been so focused on who's a left fielder, who's a center fielder. Maybe the best fit is a guy that's currently a right fielder that requires you to have to make him switch into left field.
Yeah, and you have two decent center field options there that can, make up for the difference.
Exactly.
All right, I just pulled it up because I knew it was in the news. The Baltimore. In Baltimore.
Yes.
They're changing the dimensions. The plans were just announced on Friday. Mm-hmm. It's still going to stay 333 feet at, the dead center of it. However, the rest of the wall over towards the bullpen area will start to be pulled in at varying distances between 9 and 20 feet. And instead of needing clear parts that were once 384 and 398, those deeper parts will now be 374 and 376. The height of the wall will no longer be 13 feet, but rather 8 feet in some areas and 6 feet 11 in some others. So Anthony Santander is probably like, you bastards.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because
I could have made 25 extra million had you had this wall 4 years ago.
Literally, you're costing money. You're costing players money. So as you mentioned with that report that came out, as the general manager, Mike Elias, said, they basically took accountability and said, listen, we messed up. They're trying to find a happier medium, as they say, to fix the wall because they felt like with the decision to push it back prior to 2022, they did too much. And now they're trying to fix it and correct it. And as you mentioned, to make sure that the new wall is not as shallow as the original ballpark either, but they want to find that happy medium between the move that was made 3 years ago. So,
and it's not going to affect any seats, it says also.
Yeah. Just interesting that they're correcting the issues because everybody knows that left field wall is disastrous and is costing players and costing games and costing money. And there's a lot of things that are being impacted by it. So happy to see that they're looking to do that, especially for when the Phillies are playing down there at Camden Yards. But for anybody like Anthony Santander, it still is not a reason to stay in Baltimore. Come on over to Philly because we have a great outfield for you, and you don't have to worry about the walls or issues like that. All right, before we get into some other updates around the league, plus we have to get into our Phillies trivia of the day, our random Phillies trivia of the day that Tyler Zulli has for us to close the show.
Zulli, torture chamber.
Yeah, it is, basically. Let's handle some more business. Let's talk about some more of our friends. Let me tell you guys about Rite Aid, the place you can go to take care of any sort of cold, flu, anything that you're dealing with this time of year. And personally, I could say as someone that had sinus problems, and I'm still dealing with it, to be honest, but I'm on the up and up with it. You want to make sure you're protecting you and your family, whether it's pneumonia, for example. This time of year, adults age 50 and older, and especially, are eligible for the vaccine to make sure that you can be proactive and be safe in protecting your family. It was previously actually 65 and older that the vaccine was recommended, but now the CDC has lowered the age recommendation to 50 plus. And millions get pneumonia every year, according to the CDC. It's a respiratory illness. So with Rite Aid at this time of year, as we're into the fall, winter's around the corner, winter is coming. It's a time for germs. It's a time for respiratory illnesses, the cough, the sniffles, the sinus infections, and you don't want it to spread through your community. You definitely don't want it to spread through your home. So in order to be proactive, we've talked about getting the flu vaccine at Rite Aid. You can also get pneumonia vaccine. There's other vaccines there as well, because getting vaccinated can be easy. You can just walk into your local Rite Aid or schedule online at riteaid.com. And if you're unsure of which vaccines you might need, well, you can just ask your pharmacist at Rite Aid for a personal recommendation. Stop by your local Rite Aid today. I know my mom actually went and got her vaccine. I know people that have done the same, and it's very easy. I personally think it's so convenient. I told you guys before, when I go to schedule with my doctor, who I love thoroughly, it takes forever just to get an appointment, let alone to get the vaccine. So if you want to get your vaccines today, you can walk right in, you can schedule online, and Rite Aid has all the convenience of COVID vaccines, pneumonia, flu vaccines, any other vaccines, as well as allergy medication, over-the-counter medication, so you can stay healthy and enjoy all the fun moments that the fall brings.
And let me tell you about my friends over at Miller Lite, the original light beer. And to this day, it's still the best one. 1975 is a long time ago. And not much has changed with Miller Lite in a absolutely great way, because they just kind of perfected it from the jump. A light beer that tastes like a light beer should taste. Less filling, less calories, and it's just a great time. Whether you're down in the lots tailgating the birds, or, thinking already about Clearwater, Florida, and sitting out on a dock and watching some baseball with a Miller Lite in your hand. Winter's ahead. The holidays are coming. And it's always great when friends and family are around and there's Miller Lites in the fridge, because it's undebatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. The original light beer since 1975. And you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/PHLY Phillies, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
All right. Well, as we are into the off season and every day live 11 a.m. here on PHLY Phillies podcast, Monday to Friday on any streaming platform you want to find us, Twitter, YouTube, Roku, anywhere you want to find us, Xfinity, we are there. And we're talking about rumors too, because 'tis the season to talk rumors. Fa la 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 la. Now, the Phillies have
the
been...
most depressing Christmas song of all time.
Yeah, are you Miss Hallmark Channel? Come on.
I am.
This is your time to shine.
This is my time to shine, guys. I know. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Fa la 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 la. La la la. All right. So there have been some other names that have been out there across the rumor mill.
You missed Alec Bregman week.
I know. And I've been...
that was a juicy rumor for you.
I've been actively talking about Alec Bregman as a piece that is a weird, much like an Anthony Santander, because you already have a right fielder. You also already have a third baseman. So when you talk about Alec Bregman...
Ask me how much I think they're going to get him. Like what percentage? Ask me.
Can I guess what your percentage is? Are you high or are you low? I can't tell from your body language, your facial expressions giving me optimism. I'm going to say you're 57%.
0%.
Okay.
I came to that realization over the weekend. And,
okay.
Once some of these rumored, contract length and numbers came out. Yeah, no, I do think Bohm's going to be gone.
Okay.
So you missed that. There was a lot of Bohm chatter.
Yes.
And then Bregman, Buster Olney, an executive, said that the Phillies, Mark Faisan just wrote a MLB.com story, last night, where is Bregman going to land? Didn't even mention the Phillies.
No, not
so maybe you could give me 1%. Maybe that I was being too harsh. 1% chance Alec Bregman's a Philly. Okay.
Are
you more hopeful?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it ever made sense. I mean, first of all,
I think it made sense if it was a cheap short-term deal.
Yeah, but not for the numbers.
Excuse me. Overpaid short-term deal. Not cheap.
I mean, he's 31 years old. Ever since that 2018-2019 breakout season he hasn't really been the same. He was top 5 in MVP voting for the AL through a couple years. And then this past season alone, we saw just like an up and down season for him, a slow start with his, I know we talked about it, four home runs and .589 OPS through the first 51 games, and then swung things completely, a 180 with a 288 batting average, 22 home runs, and .862 OPS in the final 94 games. That's what has people encouraged when you hear Alex Bregman is out there on the hot stove as a potential fit. I know the Astros are already talking about what they're going to have to do if they need to replace him because they're in this weird space of...
It's not Minute Maid Park anymore, so maybe he doesn't want to go back.
So, I mean, I don't think the Phillies would go after him because also if you're going to move on from an Alec Bohm, does it make sense to bring in a 31-year-old Alex Bregman? You're going to go from Alec B to Alex B.
We talked about
an
the
older
Alec
version.
Versus Alec.
Yeah, like
Alex
it's kind of a weird thing, actually. It's like
Very
you're bringing in like a weird doppelganger. You know, like when people move on from their ex and date someone the exact same that's slightly different. That's what this feels like to me. I think you need to get someone that's totally different.
Yeah, it'll
Don't
be
bring in the
interesting
same
to do
guy.
the free agent third baseman because I do have interest in other names outside Alec
Yes.
Bregman because I don't think he's very realistic. According to Ken Rosenthal, this is very funny. And he's a Scott Boras guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to be an interesting Boras chip in how he plays them. 11 years and $350 million. No, thank
Bregman?
you. Alec Bregman.
Are we talking about the same guy?
Yeah, he's gotten worse. Ever since he basically got caught cheating, he's been going downhill. He's still a very good player. You know, if you look at his first like 45 or 50 games last year, he kind of sucked. And then he became the Alec Bregman of old for like the last 105 games. But do you really want to give an 11-year deal to somebody like that? Like, that's crazy. And $350 million, like what? Good for them. I mean, asking for it. But he's clearly an executive said shouldn't have a problem getting over $200 million. And his AAV would probably be over 22.
Well, that's why I say for the Phillies specifically, he to me mirrored a lot of what we saw. Okay, I won't say he was the same as Alec Bohm, so let me just clarify that. But we had Alec Bohm's issues. We saw him struggle at the end of the season. There was injuries. Of course, he was not good in the NLDS. So his strong part of the season was much longer, and then it was like at the end he fell off a cliff. It was the opposite for Bregman, where he started off really slow and then was better at the end of the season. The Phillies, whoever they bring in for any role, you need a guy that puts together a full season. I don't want a guy that gave you half a season. I don't think they need a guy that has been up and down. You need consistency. Even if it's someone that's going to be, to me, I would think you want somebody that's like late 20s, not over the 30-year mark. And you don't want someone that's a true prospect in that sense. But I think you need consistency right now. Like if that's an offensively consistent guy. So someone like Alex Bregman, to me, had an incredible end of the season. But for the 31-year-old third baseman to have such an up and down year, I wouldn't want him to see him in a Phillies uniform. So if he's going to demand that type of money, to me, he's fully off of my list of interests. There are other names out there that I feel like are better fits. And I know we will get in third base specifically. But overall for Bregman, I think it's exciting to think about, like, how would these guys fit? And another thing I want to point out that actually had me excited that I will say is a positive is a lot of these names we've talked about are names of guys that received awards this year. We're talking about Gold Glove, Alex Bregman. We're talking about Anthony Santander. You look across the list around the league of different like end of the year awards and different things. It was Comeback Player of the Year. I know you guys talked about Orion Helsley for Closer of the Year. He was Reliever of the Year with Emmanuel Clase. It's just exciting to see that some of these names of guys that could be fits for the Phillies are also guys that we're seeing out here having, Garrett Crochet named Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Crochet talk too.
Have him in the mix with the Phillies. Like, that to me is what makes me excited. That at least they're going after guys that last year had an incredible season. You're talking about a Comeback Player of the Year, Garrett Crochet. You're talking about for Reliever of the Year, Orion Helsley. You're talking about even a Gold Glove, Alex Bregman, regardless if he fits or not. So that to me is encouraging. These are the types of players they should be going after. The guys ready now, the guys that could be immediate impact players and help out starting day one, not having to wait until 6 months, whatever time passes.
The crochet one we got into a lot last week when you were on vacay, and I do think that one has some life.
I think so too.
That to me, now it doesn't help your outfield position.
No.
You still need some help there, and as we've gone over with these free agent outfielders, kind of foolish to count on a free agent offensive upgrade in outfield.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to have to address that in trade too. But I do think this Garrett Crochet thing has some life to it. I think the main reason is you could pair him with Andrew Painter and Christopher Sanchez as the youthful part of your future rotation. And that would be pretty exciting. I mean, stuff-wise, Crochet is filthy.
Yeah.
So I do think it has legs for that reason. 2 years of affordability, and then it's like your future. You're already kind of set with your rotation. Because I talk about Andrew Painter like he's a sure thing at this point.
I know, and he feels like he is. I mean,
does
listen,
feel like he is.
And I know in the chat, Don, you're mentioning how Bregman is only 2 years older, and yes, I agree. It's not a big drastic. We're not talking about a 35, 34-year-old player. But I do think you have to keep in mind the trajectory of where their careers are going. And to me, someone like a Garrett Crochet, for example, when you look at his as a full-time starter, the work he's been able to show with his 2.71 ERA that he had over 3 seasons as a reliever for the White Sox, and then convert to be a full-time starter, and has been great in that role. I mean, you're talking about a guy that pitched a 3.58 ERA, 146 innings, a 35.1% strikeout rate for opposing batters, an all-star, and he's still young. So I feel like moving in the right direction in terms of trending. That's why I think there is some life to him paired with like an Andrew Painter. If I'm in the Phillies front office, that's what the plan for the future. Now you have Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez. Don't know what's going to happen with Rangers, Suarez, but then you have guys for the future as well that you can prepare for. So I think it's as we talk about, you need to have guys ready now, yes, but you do also want to make sure that it's guys that are going to be here for years to come. Don't just bring in veteran pieces. There are teams that do that. I won't say any names, but there are teams, even in our own city, that bring in a lot of veterans on a 1-year deal that are in the washed part of their career, and they're injury plagued.
Who are you talking about? Is he that plays in Chester or something?
There's some teams. No, I wish they brought in veterans.
Yeah.
No, wrong sport. It is what the
Sixers.
Don't just bring in veterans that are washed in their career that are on that 1-year deal.
Sixers land. What are you talking about?
It is great right now. I know, but you need a balance. You need a balance.
That
is
was
all
my
I'm saying.
sarcastic.
Yeah, it's great. Sure.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Correct. It's great. Everything's great. This is fine.
And
so
the Sixers
that is
play
exciting.
Tonight, so everybody brace themselves.
Oh gosh, yeah, I know.
They stink.
They do. They do. They really do. I will say a positive for you guys. As I was away on a cruise, here's a fun story for you.
No.
We were watching the Eagles game. And
that was a fun one.
All the Eagles fans united. Everybody had their gear on. We were chanting. We took over the cruise ship with Eagles chants. And it's just nice. Even on the high seas, we had no Wi-Fi. Couldn't even tweet anything out. Couldn't even talk about it. Well, I did. I purchased a little Wi-Fi, but I was trying to, unplug. But I didn't have like true Wi-Fi to be able to text. I could get on a little social media and stuff. Yeah. But it was nice. Like the Eagles chants were just roaring through the ship. And even on the high seas, Eagles fans show up and show out.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
We are everywhere. But some other random things that happened around the league this past weekend, especially because there were some names. Well, first of all, we have the Rule 5 draft coming up. So the Phillies do have until 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time Tuesday to add players to the 40-man roster to protect them from the Rule 5 draft. So there are 6 players in their top 30 prospects list that are eligible for the draft. Mick Abel.
They'll protect him.
Gene Cabrera.
I would think they do.
He's number 13. Number 21, Griff McGarry.
I would think they allow him to be draft eligible.
Okay.
Tyler, any strong feelings on that one?
The stuff is there. I just think, I don't know, has he run his course in this particular organization?
He's the interesting one.
I think he's probably on the bubble. I would not be stunned if they move on from him or allow him to be, because I do. Here's the thing with the Rule 5 that I think if you're not familiar with it, like if you get selected on the Rule 5, you have to be on the Major League roster. Otherwise, you get sent back to your former team. So if he's selected, he has to be on that team's Major League roster. I don't think he's Major League ready.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't be stunned if they allow him to go to the Rule 5 draft and see if a team will take him.
Yeah. No, it is interesting because that's something you have to obviously consider, Tyler, to your point of who's going to actually be ready if you're going to protect them.
I think Abel's a lock to be protected.
Walk.
Cabrera could probably go either way, but I think they protect him. And then McGarry, I would think they let pass through because I don't think another team wants to put him on a major league roster.
Well, the other three names are number 22 ranked Christian McGowan, number 25 Carlos De La Cruz, and number 26 Moises Chase.
Chase will be protected.
I think Chase will get protected. So the Phillies do have 37 players
De La Cruz
on the 40-man roster.
I would think is eligible also. Wasn't he last year? Didn't he go through and come back?
I thought so.
I think he did.
Yeah.
So I would imagine you feel pretty good about your chances of getting him back again.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Oh, McGowan. Who had a good end of the year and did pretty well out in the AFL as well.
And I think, guys, it matters, too, how many spots they currently have on their 40.
Right, exactly. And that's the reality. You've got 37 players on the 40.
I think you can protect 3. Do you have that in your notes?
Yeah. So Abel, Chase are 2 that are probably going to get protected. Yeah. And then another name that's been brought up is Iverson Castellanos, who we know was Phillies Paul Owens Award winner and minor league pitcher of the year. So will be interesting. They do have until, again, Tuesday, 6 p.m. So tomorrow, as of this conversation, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time to add players to the 40-man roster to protect them from the Rule 5 draft. Now, some other names, excuse me, are Phillies that have been bouncing around. Did you see the news around Connor Brogdon?
I did not.
Sorry as I die. Oh, no, the suspense.
I guess my Connor Brogdon Google alert didn't come through on my phone. Oh, no, she's dying.
That's how excited I am about
Mopar,
Connor Brogdon.
I agree with you. This lineup does need a shakeup.
Connor Brogdon elected for free agency.
Okay, good luck, Connor Brogdon. Brogdon was one of those guys, Tyler. I don't know. You might have been the opposite of me. I irrationally thought that he was going to work out and be great, and even when the reality and the facts were telling me
he was a productive member of a World Series playing bullpen.
Sure.
He was called upon in some significant spots in 2022. He fell off a cliff in 23, never returned. I think Connor Brogdon, to me, and I hate to do this to a player because it's not fair to them because you have no idea what is going on in their lives. Connor Brogdon, to me, seemed like he lost his confidence and really struggled to gain it back. Yeah. The changeup was a very viable pitch. It was one of the better pitches in the bullpen in that 2022 season. Now, granted, they had a bunch of dudes in that 2022 bullpen who never regained that level, between him and Bilotti. There was a bunch of guys that were probably pitching above their heads. But to see the fall off for a younger guy like Connor Brogdon was kind of surprising because I do think there is playable stuff for him. I wonder, was he just so in his own head and feeling like he had nothing to the point where his command was really, really bad?
Yeah, and unfortunately it got worse since he left the Phillies in April to the Dodgers. For anybody that did not follow Connor Brogdon's journey the remainder of the season, here's what happened. Brogdon was moved to the Dodgers. Then they had him assigned outright to AAA Oklahoma City. He actually dealt with injury, so he played just one game, allowed a pair of runs in one inning, and then dealt with plantar fasciitis, which is not fun.
Oh, have you ever had it?
No, thank goodness. But I
used to mock athletes that would miss games for plantar fasciitis, and then I got it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I never said that.
It's awful, apparently.
It's like walking on glass shards from the minute you wake up until it finally gets warmed up and, it's terrible.
So he was on the 15-day IL with plantar fasciitis, and then it got so bad he never was able to get back to the active roster, was on rehab assignment, was on the 60-day IL. It was a really bad season for him and just never recovering from that. And so he did, as you talk about, not only have the struggles in Philly with the Phillies, but continued that on the West Coast as well. So he has elected for minor league free agency, and that does clear a space for LA's 40-man roster, but also does allow him to now hit the free agency market and maybe he can get healthy. Another name, Aramis Garcia, because there are some former Phillies that are making some moves around the league. He also has been signed to the Diamondbacks on a minor league deal. So the catcher, Aramis Garcia, who we've talked about in the past, now joins their AAA club for Arizona. And the 32-year-old has some big league experience, but now it's going to be playing in the minors. So interesting.
We
nuggets.
wish you well.
Yeah,
to our
good luck to you guys.
PHNX brethren out there. Good luck with Aramis.
Good luck. And then just some other things we're keeping an eye on. Of course, Corbin Burnes, the names that have been continuously brought up for him, for his potential suitors. If he doesn't go back to the Orioles, that is a possibility. He can stay with the Orioles, of course, but the other names. The Blue Jays,
Orioles, you can't let Corbin Burnes leave.
You cannot let Corbin Burnes leave. You need him, I would think. I mean, to have a 2024 season of a 2.92 ERA with 194 and a third innings pitched, a 1.096 WHIP, 181 Ks. I think you're trying to keep him this season. And it's bad enough that he was let go by the Brewers. I don't think the Orioles Corbin Burnes has back-to-back seasons of being out there on the market. That's crazy to think of. But the potential suitors for him, this gets even scarier. The Red Sox and Blue Jays, because allegedly they're being more aggressive this season, but also the Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers all have been very in on Corbin Burnes as well. So some teams to keep an eye on, because not only are they potentially going after Juan Soto, but they're also potentially going after Corbin Burnes. So, yay.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap things up with some trivia, because we've got the Tyler Zulli torture chamber of trivia of random Phillies.
I don't think it's that hard.
Random Phillies that have played with the team since 2000. And Jamie and I have to guess. And you guys, of course, started this last week when I wasn't here. And I feel like you started this last week when I wasn't here, knowing that I would absolutely hate this.
It was a test run. It was like
absolutely
a
be
soft
like,
launch.
no, I don't want to do it. But here we are doing it. So it's fine.
All right. So, Renee, here's the rules, because Jamie knows how to play by now. But here are the rules. You are going to get a silhouette of a player and one fact about that player. It's supposed to be a very difficult, obscure fact. And the earlier that you get the player, the more points you're going to get. If you get it after 1, you'll get the 4 points, the full 4 points. It goes incrementally down as the hints get easier. Now, you two will play as a team, and we'll tally up the points collected throughout the week. Jamie and I played.
I accidentally opened a chat room in our Discord.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
in case everybody in our Discord wants to play along and get tortured as well.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've gotten 2 of the 3, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so Jamie and I have played 3 times. He has secured, out of a possible 12 points, he has secured 4. Yes, these are random Phillies. This is not meant to be easy, but it is meant to be fun, I think.
Oh, gosh. I think we have different definitions of fun, but it's fine.
Just don't like losing.
You're
a very sore loser, and we've documented that pretty significantly.
I would say that you're wrong, but since you guys have told me I'm a sore loser, there's been several people that have also told me I'm a sore loser in various games that I should not be such a sore loser. So apparently I'm a sore loser. So let's play the game.
Instead of doing this against each other, I feel like it's a little bit more fun if you guys team up as a team, and we'll see how many points you come away with at the end of the off season. So in any given week, you could have up to 20 points. Here is your first hint.
Wait, how many did Jamie have last week?
He got, of 12 possible points, he got 4.
It's hard.
4 points of 12?
Yes. I'm not Tyler's dad. I'm not going to get it on the first guess about the original team that drafted him in the 3rd round.
Jeez Louise.
Right,
I know K-Red's excited for this, so apparently he also is a sicko like you. So,
all right, guys, you ready for this? All right, here is your random fact and your silhouette.
Oh, okay.
See, like,
Wait, what the heck?
I can pretty much just always just go to, like, 7th round pick in 2012 does me no good.
Okay, wait.
You're not going to get it.
2012.
We're just going to ask for the second hint.
But I can't, like...
So, by the way, Renee, you can guess. So, you each get one guess. You get one guess per hint. Wrong guesses do not lose you any points.
Jeez.
7th round pick. And that doesn't even mean he was a Philly 7th round pick. He could have been drafted by...
I will say this. If it does not say drafted by, the player will be always drafted by the Phillies. So if it says 7th round pick by Washington, then that's the difference.
Okay, that's right. You did have that for Grady.
Let's think of where we were in 2012. Well, we don't pay attention in the draft like that.
I mean, not after like the top 2 rounds.
I mean, this is pre-Aaron Nola, pre-Reese Hoskins. Like
that does us no good.
This is a long time ago.
All right. You just no guess at all. There's no wrong guess. There's no points
I don't even know where to begin to guess. No, what?
It's not a bad guess, but it is not Connor Brogdon.
Okay.
We don't know what position he plays or anything?
No.
Jeez. Okay. No, I've got nothing.
All right. Here's your hint number 2.
Made 47 appearances before being traded. Again, that doesn't. We don't even know position yet.
This is supposed to be doable.
It's doable. Usually, the third guess is where I start to
I wonder
get
if anybody in the chat has. He does look like a pitcher, and he does look tall. I know Mopar and K-Ritter are saying that in chat.
I agree with the pitcher.
He's giving me like the build of his neck and head is looking like a pitcher. I don't see hair or anything. Like, I see no features of like
47.
lots of hair.
Traded.
So
Sir Anthony Dominguez. He would have been international, probably, right?
What about?
And by the way, I apologize. I forgot to put it on the second hint because you'll see it when the third hint comes up. He was traded to Tampa Bay.
I feel like it's a pitcher.
It does look like a pitcher.
Yeah.
All right, I need the third guess.
I don't even know where to begin. 2012.
What do you got there?
Oh, you want the third one?
Yeah,
okay.
I got nothing.
Well, I want to first say thank you to our diehards and everyone that's tuned in across our different TV streaming channels. You're going to have to continue seeing this game elsewhere on our social media and on our podcast platforms. I know Blanche Devereaux, we've got the Golden Girls in the chat, saying Brandon Duckworth.
It's a good name.
All right, you want?
Wow, you got to pull some names out of the hat.
Hint number 3 here.
Yeah, hopefully this is.
Did he ever come back?
Never
to the Phillies?
been
I'm
better
curious.
than 7% fastball velo.
So of his major league tenure, when they started tracking this percentile wise, he has never had a fastball percentage across his career across a season that was better than the 7th percentile. So what that tells you, this guy doesn't throw particularly hard.
He doesn't throw fast pitches. This is so difficult. This is fun for you.
This is probably the hardest one we've done so far.
Lovely. Way to kickstart things off on the week. Happy Monday. Here's the hardest
Well,
round.
this would have been done
This
on
is not a
Friday,
big
but
name.
we had other things
What do
happen.
Yeah, we had Anthony and Jim. It was great.
Wow, you guys had so much fun without me. What about someone like...
Oh, now here she is starting to Google players.
Yes, actually,
Never
Tyler,
been
because this is nearly
faster than
impossible.
7%.
He looks tallish.
He kind of looks skinny.
I'm gonna.
2012 Phillies.
What about? Ooh, I don't know when he was drafted, and I'm just looking at names. I'm not looking at stats. I'm not looking at the picks or anything. So before you start accusing me of cheating,
Is he a lefty?
I mean, I
Jake?
can't give you that.
You can?
I can't.
Is it Jake Diekman?
No.
It's not a bad guess.
No, Jake Diekman threw.
But the Phillies didn't
Fairly
draft
hard.
this guy. Never mind. I was going to say Drew Smiley.
Yeah, because I'm not even.
It is not Drew Smiley. Drew Smiley's the best guess you guys have had so far, but it's not Drew Smiley.
And he wasn't drafted by the
It's
Phillies.
also not a starter.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I
not.
would have said starts instead of appearances.
Oh,
That's a good point. Good
okay.
point. 2012 draft.
What
All
about?
right. We might as well give us the fourth one. This is really tough.
So
All
we
right,
only
right.
get 1 point if we get this correct.
Correct.
Oh, well, if we get.
Spent last 4 years with the Brewers.
Let me see what's in the chat. Let's see what our friends have in the chat.
The
Mopar's
Brewers.
and K-Rider are saying Kyle Kendrick.
No.
Omar Dahl is Blanche's guess.
Travis Lee, Omar Dahl for Kurt Schilling.
This is so hard.
Wayne
Blanche has
Gomes,
a lot
Blanche Devereaux
of
says.
guesses.
Past 4 years with the Brewers.
What about?
Oh no.
I don't even know. I can't think of who this trajectory of the Phillies, Tampa Bay, and who played with the Phillies, Tampa Bay, and the Brewers.
Spent time between the Brewers and the Phillies with Tampa Bay and with the Angels.
Like, I feel like I don't even think I could Google this if I wanted to. Let's see.
Oh man.
How do you?
I think I got nothing.
Google has nothing. What about? We said it's a pitcher. It's possibly a reliever.
It's definitely a reliever. I'm pretty much tapped out. Yeah, I got nothing. I got
spent
nothing.
3
Tyler,
seasons
you
with the
got me.
Brewers. My final guess, Rich Thompson.
It is not Rich Thompson.
Are you looking at the Brewers roster?
No, I'm just
only one
trying to,
person in the chat got it right today.
Blanche?
So congratulations, Jim Moss. It is Hobie Milner.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Hobie Milner.
Wow. I forgot about him existing.
Milner? Are you joking me? This is where we are. This is more torturous than Guess That Ballpark. 1,000%. And Guess That Swing.
Holy Milner.
1,000%.
Tyler, you bastard.
How the heck did you pull his name out of your hat?
You don't want the answer to that question.
Hobie Milner.
Did your dad get that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are cute.
What point level did he get?
He got it after the
7%?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are sick.
So Hobie Milner was drafted in the 7th round, a 248th overall pick by the Phillies back in 2012. In his career, statistically...
Okay, Red, I do not recall this
My
man.
dad's response, I believe, too, was this the idiot that Gabe Kapler didn't warm up and forgot to brought him into the game without warming him up? And I went, yeah, that's sicko behavior.
That's exactly who that is.
Oh my gosh.
I do not recall this.
After playing
Mopar
with the
said I need a
Phillies in
drink.
2017 and 2018, was with Tampa Bay in 2018 and 2019. Did have a stint with the Angels, and then, as you mentioned, with the Brewers from 2021 to this past
I'll be
season.
honest,
Allegedly, he's still with the Brewers.
I did not remember him having an impact with the Brewers.
Well,
Do you
being there
remember?
at all.
Hobie Milner was the pitcher that 2 years ago faced Bryce Harper in an at bat, and Bryce Harper stood there and didn't take the bat off his shoulders?
That was Hobie Milner?
Hobie Milner.
oh my gosh. Well, guys, he did have a 4.73 ERA with Milwaukee this season.
He actually had a really good year
with a
2
5
years
and
ago.
1.
Really?
Yeah, he actually played 61 games this past season with Milwaukee. Yeah, apparently he's
Okay,
still
that
doing
was
stuff.
the hardest one we've done. So welcome
All right,
back.
I'll rein it back a little bit.
Bruce Vail said it's an easy Google search. I'm trying not
We're
to
trying
cheat.
not to, yeah.
Like, technically, we could Google.
I don't think I could have even gotten that one while cheating. No, I just would have gone to the 2012 draft.
Yeah,
and
but it
figured
literally
out.
just
But
started with the 2012 draft, who was picked in the 7th round, and then go from there. But, like, we're trying not to cheat.
Keyword trying.
But guys, so
But I
here's
think
the
we
thing.
might need to
Here's
cheat.
the thing with this game. It's supposed to be random players. Like it's not.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
not supposed to be, Chase Utley or
Right.
No,
It's
of
not
course
even.
not.
And here's the thing. I don't even think it's supposed to be like, I'm trying to think of like a mid-tier player, but like
Yeah, like it's a
that's
name that you
nominally
should
people
forget.
know. Right.
It's forgettable, guys.
Right. Precisely.
Because as Mopar is saying, Tyler, you are a sick man with this. Absolutely.
We're just getting started.
And we're apparently just getting started, according to Tyler. So we're going to have more of this sicko random Philly trivia with the Tyler Zulli torture chamber
Ralph
every
Furley
day.
says, I'm surprised he got 47 appearances because he was terrible.
Yeah, the problem is so was the entire team.
Those are some dark years of the Phillies.
Yeah, that's not good at all. His numbers were not great.
I do not recall this man.
Yeah, so that's where we are for our random Phillies trivia of the day. It was Hobie Milner. And we'll have more of that. I kind of now want to go back to Guess That Ballpark. I think I regret saying I disliked that game because now it's looking a lot more fun.
Oh, we'll Guess That Ballpark.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah. See if we do any better.
I got to stop
It's
saying
been a
it.
whole 12 months.
I don't remember anything.
Exactly.
I don't remember anything.
With torture all over again.
No. Well, if you guys want to come hang and be tortured with us each and every day, we're live at 11 a.m. across all of our different platforms. You can check us out live on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Roku. We're on Xfinity. We're on different streaming apps where you can check us out 11 a.m. to 12 every day. We're going to be continuing to update not only on what the Phillies are doing, but what's going on elsewhere around Major League Baseball. We are giving you daily Juan Soto updates as well as daily torture. The Tyler Zulli Random Philly Trivia. So for Tyler, Jamie, myself, Renee, that will do it for us here today. When in doubt, it's Great American Ballpark. And we'll see you live for more here on PHLY Phillies podcast tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.